All right. Okay, bienvenidos a Desde Cero. Welcome to Right from the Start. On today's podcast, as you can see, we're here with some Dallas Cowboy fans, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Phillip Flores and Anthony Flores. Welcome to the podcast.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I wanted to do a Dallas Cowboys podcast because recently I started watching the Dallas Cowboys. Everybody who knows me knows I'm a big baseball fan. And, recently I just started watching football. And, Lord and behold, I became a Dallas Cowboy fan. So I wanted to talk to some real Cowboy fans, which is you two,
yes,
right?
Sir. Yes, sir.
And I want to thank y'all for being on the podcast.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
So let's get going, Phillip. Before we get going on all the Cowboy stuff, where are you from?
I'm from here. I'm from Bryan, Texas. I'm number 11 out of 12 kids.
11 out of 12
Out of
kids.
12, we have 7 brothers and 5 sisters, and
Okay.
I'm the youngest one out of the 7.
And Anthony, this is your dad, right?
Yes, sir. It
Anthony's
is.
my oldest son.
Okay.
He was born in '84. So
And both of you are from Bryan?
Yes,
both
sir.
here from
Both
Bryan.
born.
Okay. And where'd you go to school and all that?
Well, I graduated from Bryan High in '83.
83, class of 83.
Class of
What about
83.
you, Anthony?
I actually graduated from Gary Job Corps in 2001.
Okay. And family. How many more boys do you have?
Well, I have a brother and I have 3 younger sisters.
3 younger sisters.
Yeah, I'm the oldest out of 5.
Okay. So I guess let's get going on this topic. Okay. When did you guys become Dallas Cowboy fans? Well, first Phillip, right? Because
Right.
you had to be
No.
first.
Age before beauty,
So when did you become a Cowboys fan?
Actually, this is the only team I remember rooting for.
Mm-hmm.
Roger Staubach, Tony Dorsett, the teams from the 70s. Just like you, they caught my eye. Maybe the
Right.
star on the helmets, the uniforms were cool. And actually my mom is a big Cowboy fan. And my dad never really watched football. My mom.
What was the first game that you remember watching? Was it at your house? Was it at family? What was your first memory?
Usually when we watch football, all the family's there.
Right.
So and we only watch the Dallas Cowboys. College ball, we only watch Aggies because my mom worked for the university for
Right.
26 years. So, and like I said, I don't know how he became a Longhorn fan.
Yeah, we'll talk
We
about
can dive into that later.
We'll talk about that later.
but yeah, I mean, it was always a sit down, a family. Of course, with all of us there,
Right.
most of us are sitting on the rug, and we never missed a Cowboy game.
Right. What area of Bryan did you live in when you were growing up?
West Side.
On West Side.
We lived in Ravine Street.
Okay.
They call them the projects.
Right.
It's just like maybe 2 blocks away from Beck Street, which
Right.
is
Well,
the other
I grew
side.
up on 28th Street.
Okay. Well,
If you know where Tommy's Drive-In is,
Tommy's, yeah,
right across the street, that was us.
yeah.
Okay.
Since I was 1 year old. Now when I was born, I lived on Ravine for a year.
See there?
When I was a baby.
Ah,
So
this is the last of the PK kids right here.
is it right?
Project kids.
So
These
you
are
also,
not-
Anthony, you also grew up on Ravine for a little bit?
Oh yeah, for a little bit. I have vague memory. I was very small. Finally, my grandma finally moved to Mockingbird, which is right around the corner off of
Right.
Palisota, right there behind Nowalk. Is it Nowalk Park?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
Park.
no,
Yeah, but before they built on the additions, it was just the old small basketball court.
Right.
That's
So-
where
so-
my fondest memories are.
And Anthony, when did you first started to watch
Right.
Cowboys?
We're just kind of piggybacking off like when my grandma moved to Mockingbird. The earliest game I can remember was in the family living room. Not really sure too much was going on. I just know that they were throwing the ball
Right.
and then people were tackling and people were hitting, and I was like, that looks fun, and kind of just got into it from there. And then finally started getting used to the teams and found out about the Cowboys and see how much excitement my family had, watching it, the love, the bond. It was just those are my memories. That's what the Cowboys mean to me. Is family
Right,
first.
because I think sports in general, when you have a team, it's not only about the wins and losses. It's
Right.
about getting together
Yeah.
on a
Right.
Sunday afternoon and just watching a game. Right?
Absolutely.
But you got your team and you go for it. Do you guys have family members that are not Cowboy fans?
I'll let him tell you one. I ain't even gonna say it.
Not so many family members per se. More like there's a lot of good friends. And that's the good thing about the Cowboys too. You know, they're very everybody knows the Cowboys, whether you like them or hate them.
Right.
Everybody knows about them. And so I actually met quite a bit of friends that were actually just other fans of other teams. You know, and you know, me being so young, all I knew was about the Cowboys. Like, oh, I should check out like the Dolphins or the Saints or those like kind of the popular teams at the time. And so I kind of got into it. I like all the colors. Don't get me wrong. Like I don't dislike any team really. 'Cause I'm just a football fan. But the Cowboys is just what brings it home for me.
Right, because I think living here in Bryan College Station, you can either, or back in the day, you could have chose the Houston Oilers, or you could have chosen, the Dallas Cowboys, just the way people pick the Rangers or the Astros. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So do you know why you guys went with the Dallas Cowboys instead of the Houston Oilers and now the Houston Texans?
Right.
Was it just the same way you just started watching the Cowboys and you just became a fan?
And that's it. That's
right.
It. We just started.
And then once you're in there, you're in there and you're sucked in and you can't get out, right?
Yeah, and then when we played football and we're reading in the middle circle there, I was always,
Cowboy.
Drew Pearson, or I was always, Golden Richards is always a Cowboy player, and that's and then I started playing football in 7th grade and 8th grade, and even more, I fell in love with the game even more,
Have you guys ever lost friends because of the Dallas Cowboys? Have you ever stopped talking to somebody or somebody stopped talking to you?
No, I personally have not. I mean, it gets fun.
Right.
It gets a little creative, a little colorful sometimes. But I mean, nothing. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's just teams.
Right. You guys don't take it personal. There's a lot of people that do.
Oh yeah,
just like in baseball too. They take it so personal that you stop talking. But I've never had that issue where I wanted to lose a friend because of this games. Right. It was always dumb to me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
My brother Jimmy's he's a Green Bay Packer fan.
Truth comes out.
I don't know how I became a Green Bay Packer. He started liking Brett Favre.
Okay.
And from then on, he just became a Packer fan. So he doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
I really think he's a closet Cowboy fan. His whole family is, and I think that you have to have one in the family just so. Be competitive, but
right.
Yeah.
So the Dallas Cowboys are known as America's team. Why do you think they call it the America's team? Is it because of and also it's the richest franchise,
right?
Or
currently it is,
right?
Yeah.
So
I think they're worth $8 billion. $8 billion last time.
So do you think that's the reason? Because they invest so much and they put in all this work to the team that people just admire that. What do you think is the reason for they call America's team?
Right. So I know it got coined back in the 70s or 60s, but I know when they started winning, because of course they didn't start off that way. They started off terrible, really bad.
Very terrible.
And then I guess Tex Schramm took over and just a businessman. I think he saw what he could turn his franchise into, I'm all a fan about, you get out what you put in. And it seemed like he just put in more than anybody else. Yeah, he cared about that franchise and getting their name out there. And now they're known worldwide. Nobody had to speak English or know American football to know what that star means.
Right. I think two of the most popular symbols are the Dallas Star and the New York Yankee.
Yes, sir. I agree with that too.
Yeah. And this is worldwide. It's just not the United States.
Oh, no. This is worldwide.
Because I think Mexico, it's a huge fan of the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh yeah,
well, it's the brand, the brand too. I mean, somebody coined it,
right?
Him, the America's team, and then with the star, with them being, in Dallas, and then everybody they're the most watched NFL team,
Also, too, at the time, they were playing at Texas Stadium, the hole in the roof so God could watch his favorite team. You heard it all. I'm sure you heard all the monikers and stuff.
Their first stadium was in where? Irving?
Yes, sir. Irving, Texas.
And now they're in Arlington.
Yes,
right.
AT&T.
How many games have y'all been to at AT&T? Do y'all go to games?
Yeah.
Or do y'all like take? We go like every other year to these things.
Right.
They become so expensive.
Oh yeah, for sure.
we went on one Thanksgiving morning. It started off warm that morning, and then by the time we got to the stadium, I mean it dropped considerably.
Yeah.
Everybody was wrapped up before they opened the gates, and
It was freezing.
And they played the New Orleans Saints.
Playing New Orleans Saints.
And the Saints beat us. Yeah, it was.
Yep, I was right behind that goalpost when Roy Williams caught that deep pass for Romo, breaking wide open, and the Saints got him from behind and punched the ball out and fumbled it. And I was
what's your
crazy?
What's the best memory you have of going to a live game? Was that it?
I went to the one where Romo threw that touchdown that J.J. Watt was running after him, and then he curled around.
Oh yeah,
and he just threw the ball. Me and my wife were there when that happened. So that's one of my fondest memories, live memories that I'll never forget. Dude.
Who's your all-time favorite head coach for the Dallas Cowboys? Because they've had some good
ones. For me, it would be Jimmy Johnson. Just because that's more my age.
Era,
yeah, my era. Right. Yeah, but I knew all about Tom Landry and the greatness he brought to the team, and just. He changed the game with his philosophies and his. I think he even helped create the defense or offense. One of the form. I know he had a hand in developing. Kind of. How can I say, like moving the game forward, like with different ideas, different schemes, and stuff like that.
What about you, Phillip?
Well, Tom Landry, of course.
Landry.
Yeah, he's the one.
The little hat.
He's the one that schemed that fedora, but he's the one that schemed the flex defense.
That's what it was. Flex defense.
He was way ahead of his time. But.
How many Super Bowls did he end up winning? Did he
Tom
win?
two.
Tom won two.
But Jimmy Johnson also won two.
Right? And then Barry Switzer won the last one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Barry won.
Yeah, he won with. That's when they didn't get fired, but Jimmy decided to part ways. And Barry Switzer, he knew he won with Jimmy's players.
But
everybody knows.
But people will tell you it was like Troy Aikman's team that won that last Super Bowl. And then speaking with Troy, they said. We could have won 5 or 6 in a row.
Is Troy Aikman the all-time best quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys?
I would say he'd be like one of the most popular ones. As probably one of the greatest because he won 3. He has one more than Roger. Yeah. But actually, fun fact: Tony Romo is actually the career passing leader for Dallas Cowboys.
So stat-wise, Tony Romo.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But popular and a winning. Team, right?
Prestige, definitely Troy Aikman and Roger Staubach. Right? Yeah.
But then you have Roger Staubach, Captain Comeback.
Right.
Spent 4 years in the Navy, but he committed to the Cowboys when he got through serving. Then he came in.
Yeah, I think he came in. He
battled with Craig Morton.
Right. I think he was like 27 or 28 when he first
Morton's
came in.
signatures on here.
Oh, yeah?
He battled with Craig Morton for who's going to be the starter. And then I think it was the Giants game where Tom Landry every other series.
Oh yeah.
You play Greg. You play Staubach. You play Greg Staubach. And they never got in the
groove.
Sync. For that game. And so it was the next game afterwards where he said Roger Staubach's going to be our starting quarterback.
Who has been the best running back?
Emmett.
Emmett has to be. Right?
Yeah, all-time leading rusher. The durability. Carried himself with such class and grace, and just the way he handled it. A real professional.
Who's second from Emmett from the Dallas Cowboys?
Tony Dorsett.
Dorsett.
Right? I like Dorsett too, but I mean, there's so many running backs. I'm a big fan of
Murray.
I'm a big fan of Marion Barber when he played. I don't know if you remember Marion Barber with Tony Romo. Kind of first. He was just a beast. He
ran.
He was beast mode before Marshawn Lynch became beast mode. A lot of people forget about him. Well, rest in peace.
Instead of going position by position, who's been your all-time favorite Dallas Cowboy?
For me, Michael Irvin.
Michael Irvin.
Yeah, 88 club. Man.
Well, that's the jersey you got on.
Oh yeah, that's CD Lamb. And that was my football number too. I had to bribe a couple friends to get that practice jersey and that game jersey. Do some homework or something like that.
Mine all time is the other 88. Drew Pearson. Yeah, the Hail Mary catch from Roger Staubach.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah, you go further back than Anthony, right? So you probably got a little.
And
then more memories from.
And then we watched that Monday night game where Dorsett went 99.5 yards. It can never be beat.
Right.
It's been tied, but he was the first one that went 99 yards.
Right. What was the first Super Bowl that you watched on TV that the Dallas Cowboys won?
The very first one against Miami.
The very first one.
The one that they won. They lost before Miami. I think they lost to the Colts, and then they played Miami Dolphins.
How was that feel? Were you a super Cowboys fan at the time, or you were just starting to follow?
No, super Cowboys fan.
You are at that point. You were already like a big fan.
Yeah.
What about you, Anthony? When was the first time you experienced a
Super Bowl? 92.
92.
Yeah, when Troy and the Triplets won their first one. Just because I was starting getting into football, I was starting to pay attention to the games a little more, and then I just happened, just to be alive when they got the three not three in a row, could have been, but we got the 92, 93, and then the 95 Super Bowl. Right. So definitely 92, and then that's what they won 52 to like 17. And it was just that sold it for me. That was it.
What was that feeling like to be following somebody? Because I recently had that experience with the Texas Rangers, dude.
Right.
I've been a Texas Ranger, almost my whole life, and all of a
Right.
sudden you get one.
Yeah.
And that's like, man, it's like this is why we've been following.
Yeah.
Can I give you an experience for the Texas Rangers?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
I went to the first game. I don't like baseball,
Mm-hmm.
but I went to the Texas Rangers game, and we were sitting.
What year? What year was this?
Way up there. It's probably 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we had won tickets from work.
Okay.
So they took a whole group of us over there. And when I sat down, my fear was that somebody's gonna hit that ball and it's gonna come right for my face. Right. I don't like baseball because I got hit twice in the eye with the ball. And kid you not, man. It was the game was already over. The Rangers had already got it won, but right. I don't know what batter it was, but he hit the ball and went over second base, and it's coming. And it's coming for my face, dude. The guy behind me had to jump over me, catch the ball, fell on top of me, and all the guys that were around me like, dude, why didn't you catch the ball? I was like, no, it's going to hit my face. I'm not going to catch that ball. So yeah, it was funny. But
that's funny.
Yeah, but of course the stadium was right next door to AT&T Stadium. So
did you guys play football as young adults?
Yeah.
And did you play for high school or what did you?
I played for middle school at SFA Bronco. I guess that was still. Yeah, I played in the 7th grade at Anson Jones.
Okay.
For the Vikings, and then went on to play 8th grade for SFA Broncos.
Okay. What about you, Anthony? What kind of game?
Yeah, so I played 7th grade at San Rayburn, and I played 8th grade football at J. Long before I went to Lamar campus. Actually, my class was the last one to go to Lamar, and the first class to go to the Silver campus before, before everybody knows what it is now. I know what Lamar is now, so I don't know the name of the school.
Yeah, the only football I played was for the boys club.
Yeah.
With the flag football.
Oh yeah, you started off there.
I played flag,
but it wasn't tackling.
So, yeah, right.
Yeah,
so and after that, I just stuck to Little League West. That's all I did. So.
Little League West.
So
I don't know why I never got into baseball. It looked fun. I like playing like at PE and stuff like that, but I just never got into it for some reason.
I never had them around baseball.
That's probably why.
So what's been the best group for the Dallas Cowboys? What's been the best team? Not just because they won a Super Bowl, but because they were great players. Statistically, what was the best team that the Dallas Cowboys had? Was it the Troy Aikman era, the Romo? Is it the Prescott era now?
Well, more recently, definitely Prescott. Just the way the game has evolved. Back in the 90s, it was more run oriented. Got to have a good running back and kind of play action off of that. Which is funny, starting to go back that way now. But then, after that, it kind of blew up once they started making some rule changes, and the spread offense came in from college. A lot of college coaches were coming up. A lot of older coaches were retiring, right? So just evolving. So a lot of good offensive schemes came in and opened up the game a lot more. But I think the defense is starting to catch up now. So it's fun. It's fun to watch, and if you stick with football and watch long enough, you'll be able to see all those little fads and nuances and waves. It's a copycat league. So if something works, best believe somebody else is going to try.
I would say that the 2016, the rookie rookie year for Prescott and for Zeke, and then Des Bryant was there.
They still had Jason Witten too, and
this right here.
Right.
That was. I mean, they could have gone far. Right. I mean, he replaced Romo, and then they went on like a 10-game run.
What do y'all think about CeeDee Lamb right now? Is he good? I mean, because like I said, I'm barely starting to watch this.
Right.
And CeeDee Lamb does some plays. So what do you think about him?
Oh, I love CeeDee Lamb. I actually watched him since college. He played for Oklahoma, and I hated when my Longhorns went against him. He just seemed to always shine bright in that Red River rivalry. So I was excited when we drafted him. I knew what kind of player we were getting. And at the time, we needed a dynamic player like that on the outside, somebody to stretch the field, somebody throwing the slot, open up the defense, kind of open up that run a little bit. And, everybody goes through tough times. It seems like he's going through a little stretch right now. But, knowing his character and where he's came from and how he's handled things so far, I think he'll battle right back and have a Pro Bowl season like he did last year.
Okay. What do you think about it? It looked like you kind of like,
No.
He's all right.
Well, he's young.
Right. Is there somebody else who should be in that spot? Do you think?
He wears no. CD's earned it. It's just that he wears his emotions on his sleeve. And the camera's always on him.
Right.
So when he's hitting the ground because he missed her or because he got penalized, or he's not been throwing the ball enough, he goes to the sideline, the camera's on him, so he's throwing a fit, and I'm like, it kind of little bit of Des Bryant,
Right.
they want the ball. I know he's professional, they want the ball.
Right.
And he says, I'm always open. Just throw me the ball. I'm always open.
And I guess me playing receiver in school, and me playing that role, that position. I know definitely how it feels because we run a lot. Like receiver, we that's all we do all day at practice: run, cut, jump. All we do, and we want to probably get the ball thrown to maybe a handful, especially like we're young.
Right.
So trust me, when we're doing all that hard work, you wanna let your skills be seen, And him being the highest played receiver now, or one of the highest paid receivers in the league as of now. He wants to go out there and prove it, because, unfortunately, we live in social media. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has the mics on and the cameras on you. So it's just something he has to deal with, and he'll get better at it as he gets older.
What do y'all think about Prescott's new contract? Is he one of the highest?
You want to go first?
Is he one of the highest paid quarterbacks right now?
Yeah.
I believe he's highest
60,
paid.
right? 60.
I believe he's the highest paid player right now in the league.
In the league.
What do y'all think about that contract? Do you think it was worth it? Is it going to take away from signing other players that they need?
I don't believe so because the salary cap is supposed to go up in the next couple of years. So they signed him, giving him this money, knowing that they're gonna have some space later on.
They're gonna have him 5 more years. So
right,
he's got to complete this year with his contract, and then they sign him for 4. So we got him 5 more years.
So, and by committing to that, that out the way, that actually you can allocate money somewhere else. You can stretch it over those years, and that's just what the market calls for now. It's always the next man up, whatever that contract is. If you and I think Prescott played well enough to earn that contract. Of course, he didn't win the playoffs or any Super Bowls like that, but he's definitely always ranked among the top 10 statistically in every category since he's been in the league.
Because he's been to the playoffs, right? He just can't get over that hump.
Right. Yes, sir.
Do you think that they're going to pull it off this year? At not just to say let's win the Super Bowl, but at least go to the next.
I think so.
next level, right? Next.
I'm always really optimistic about my team. I am kind of wondering what Jerry meant by all in because I didn't see it. But just because I don't feel like he was all in doesn't mean me as a fan, I'm not going to be all in for my team. So actually, it's a bit a learning curve. Got a new defensive coordinator. Our old defensive coordinator went to the Washington team. He's the head coach there. So division rival, we know each other. That should be a great team. And they have actually an outstanding rookie quarterback. Jason Daniels from LSU, and he reminds me of Prescott. He was a rookie. Just come in smart, quick with the ball, athletic. Yeah. So I'm definitely looking forward to this division.
Are in the NFL are there mid-season trades and all that where you can trade for players and bring them in? But do you think that needs to happen, and who do you think that they can or should bring in to the team to try to get them to that next level.
They're always talking about their run. They need help in the run, but I don't know who's out there anymore
Right.
that can help them in their run. You know, they had a chance to get Henry, and they didn't. And I think they had a chance to get Hunt, and they didn't.
Right.
So I don't know who else is out there.
They even had a chance to get Jones too, the one from the Green Bay
So-
went to Minnesota.
Yeah.
Right. So in your heart of hearts, you think that what they have now, they're going to be able to make the playoffs and kind of win?
I think they have enough to make the playoffs. We just, like I said, we got dealing with some injuries right now too. But I mean, new scheme, everything that takes time. It takes time to gel, especially with new players. We lost like 5 or 6 players on our defense from last year. You know, in our Pro Bowl, all world defensive coordinator. So it's going to take an adjustment period. But I definitely think we need to scheme up the run, not necessarily better players, but better run calls, because we tend to go just up the middle, and then try to get on third down, and that's just not working with the backs that we got. And definitely helping on defensive side, definitely in the middle. We're still getting pushed around up there, and we just got to fix that stopgap.
I think they got some players on the practice squad that they need to dive into, especially at wide receiver. They got that rookie Flournoy. He had an awesome preseason. You know, he scored 2 touchdowns. But
if you're Jerry Jones, what do you do? This is your team. What do you do? Who do you bring in? Who do you get rid of?
I mean, what hasn't he done? You know, apparently, he says the buck stops with him. He makes all the decisions. No, he hears everybody's opinions, but he makes the final decision. And I don't know, maybe he's waiting. I don't know if it's a money thing or a years thing, or only Jerry knows Jerry. You know, he he goes off the cuff. You know, he keeps the Cowboys in the news, and that's one of his main obligations or priorities, I think. You know, which is not necessarily something I agree with, but he needs to let the coaches coach and let them kind of point out who they need and bring them in and make a decision. Just not doing nothing is not going to fix something.
So the Cowboys, as of now, this is October 2nd, 2024. They're 2-2?
2-2.
Yes, sir.
What do you think they're going to end up with the record?
I still think 12-5, just like they did 3 years.
12-5?
12-5, like the past 3 years.
Man, it seems to have been a norm. I'm a little bit more down on this year just because I need to see a little bit more about this team. I'm going 11-6.
11-6. Does that put them in the playoffs, or they still need to win in their division, right?
Yes, sir.
So,
and one thing about division games, so like you could lose all your games essentially, as long as you win your division, you're in.
Right.
So you can go in with a losing record. Right. You don't want to do that. You know, you want to go in hot, with a winning record. I think 11-6 will get it in. 10-7, kind of stretching just because the NFC is so good, So if you're not in that top division spot, you're fighting for a wild card.
Yeah,
it's tough. What team in the division is going to give the Dallas Cowboys the most trouble?
And that's what's so good about the Cowboys too, and their history is they're rivals. Philadelphia is always strong. New York's always plays Dallas stuff. Even when they're not good, they always play Dallas stuff.
Who's on their division?
Washington too.
What teams are in the division? Is it the Eagles?
They're the NFC East. They got Philadelphia, Giants, Eagles, Giants, and Commanders.
Commanders.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the Eagles are going to give them the most trouble?
I think this year is Washington is because of.
I believe so too.
Because of their head coach, because he coached their defense, so he knows their offense.
Right.
And nothing that's. There's not much change, Mike McCarthy hasn't changed anything.
Yeah, I haven't seen much.
So the games that I've watched this year, it looks like their defense is having a lot of trouble.
Yes, sir.
What do they need to do to fix that?
I think it looks like to me, just it looks like they're thinking too much. They're not trusting what they're seeing. I'm sure, it's a new defense, of course, but if you're thinking, you're not playing, I'm sure it's like that in boxing too, right? If you're not moving, you're not dodging, you're not moving your head, good head movement, you're going to get hit, you're going to get touched. And that's what they're doing. They're getting hit, they're getting gashed, they're getting touched, because they're too busy trying to figure out what's going on. Say just, okay, this is my key, this is what I got to do. Let me do my job and not worry about covering for somebody else. Because it seems like they're just disoriented. They're always pointing, they're always shifting. They never seem to go out there. We're set. Okay, this is where we're going to be in. We're not going to let the offense dictate what we're going to do. We have our keys and our calls, and we can make changes on the fly, but we're not going to change who we are. And it seems like, that's just That's just what they do. You know, they go in there and they're just watching too much. You know,
But just like Michael Parsons said, everybody just do your job. You know,
Right.
Don't try to do somebody else's job because then it leaves your job open. You know, and right now they can't stop the run.
Are they? Do you think they're in panic mode right now because of their first couple of games, or you think they're okay? They're still okay, and they're just it's a long season, and
Right.
You know,
Well,
we'll get
right
there.
now they're the only 1-0 in their division.
Okay.
So
Which is what matters. Right?
which is what matters.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
they beat the Giants. So
Right.
that out of the 4 teams in the division, they're the only one that's 1-0. So in their division, they're first.
Okay.
That's in that sense. But you know, we know they're second right behind the Redskins. So
Right. I know the overall record, and let's say that's what I was talking about earlier, being division champ. You know, you're good, but if not, you know, let's say you slip up, you got to fight for that wild card. But I'll think panic mode. I will wait. I'll probably wait till after the bye week because we got a good stretch of games coming up. We got Steelers, 49ers, and Falcons.
no Lions.
No, Steelers, 49ers, Lions in a row. But we got Steelers and the Lions before our bye week. You know, 2 good teams, 2 playoff teams. That'll really show us where we're at, I believe. And, you know, we got to make any adjustments. We got to do it during the bye week.
What team is the best team right now? What team is the team to beat? You beat that team, you know, you got a chance of performing good in the playoffs. Which is like a measuring stick. You beat the good team, you know,
Right.
it's a measuring stick to say, hey, we got what it takes. What
Well,
team is
definitely, I think we didn't beat these 49ers. They had our number the past couple of years. Devastating losses, you know. And just got that bad taste in our mouth still, you know. And I hope they come out ready to play, you know. I think if they could win that game, I think that really set the tone. I think winning the Steelers game would be big. Considering they're hot right now. I believe they're undefeated, if I'm not mistaken. If they're not 4-0, I think they're 3-1.
They lost last week.
Okay, so they're 3-1. So that's another good measuring stick too, you know.
The Steelers,
And
good
Mike
measuring
Tomlin, defense, he always play tough. You always know what you get from the Pittsburgh Steelers. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good measuring stick too as well.
right?
They to me, the Minnesota Vikings, you know, they're 4-0. You know, they're the team to beat.
Right. So what team is like number 1 right now? Do you think?
I will put Chiefs, Vikings.
Chiefs and Vikings.
Mhm.
And when do Dallas play those 2 teams? Is it towards the end, in the middle, right now? Because it kind of matters. Like towards the end, you know, you're fighting for a spot,
Right. So you
and then
probably
you got these big teams coming up. It's like, man,
Yeah.
right. So you probably won't run into the Chiefs unless
you're not gonna.
unless you meet them in the Super Bowl because they don't play this year.
Okay.
They don't.
And same thing with the Vikings. We don't play them this year unless we meet them in the playoffs. So those 2 are the best teams, you know. But I mean, we played a real good playoff team in Baltimore Ravens, and you know they seen what they did to us. They ran all over us. So like, and that's a good team too. You know, they were they did lost in the AFC Championship last year. You know, so we struggle against good teams. You know, and it's really bothersome because we beat the teams we were supposed to beat, and you know, when we play against a playoff caliber team, we just always seem to struggle. And until we get over that, find a way to fix that, we're always going to be.
But I mean, you
like
got to say something. We won 12 games.
Right.
That's hard to do to win 12. I don't care who we play. You know, you only play the team that's on your schedule, right?
Right.
So I don't. If we beat the Giants, and well, the Giants ain't nobody. Okay.
Yeah, but they're still professional football.
But the first
team.
game.
Oh yeah,
And it
you get paid
matters,
just like
right?
everybody else.
But
Yeah,
the
it
first game we
matters.
played was Cleveland, and they said, well, Cowboys are going to lose. They had Cowboys to lose.
Mhm.
And because Cleveland's
they won.
defense, and look what happened.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So and now they say, well, it's because they didn't have their two tackles on either side of the ball. Well, the Cowboys got 2 rookies. You know, they got a center and then they got a
Left guard.
guard. You know, so come on, you know, you can only play the team that's right there in front of you.
Right.
Mhm.
You know, and this is the NFL. You know, it's a professional league. It's any given Sunday. You know, look at the Saints are like world beaters when they beat us, and then they turn around and lost 15-12 to Philadelphia. You know, I think they lost 2 in a row.
Yeah.
So like you just never know. You know, some teams get hot early, some teams get hot mid, some teams get hot late. You want to be that team that gets hot late. So I'm not too much worried about the struggles in the beginning. It's where we're at in November, December is where I feel like it's where we got to turn.
Right. And do you think that they have the players it takes to get hot? As far as the defense, offense, you know, quarterback,
Right.
you know, all that.
Well, I did see some positives from our D line, especially number 58, Mozzie Smith. He was a rookie last year, but he seems to be starting to figure it out, which is real. He's real strong. He was real good for Michigan in the national championship team. We just got a lot of young guys, you know, and they just need to play. You know, I believe the talent is there. Dallas has always been good with talent, acquiring talent, drafting talent, developing talent. But, you know, you got to put it all together. You know, that's why I love football. It's not just a one-man show. It takes a team. It takes all 11 people to be on the same page all the time. So, man, it's hard, but I think they could do it.
I think we got everybody.
You think they have what they need?
Yeah.
They just need a click.
They need
to come together, and they just need to.
I mean, of course, there's a free agent out there. You know, like I know, like as we were speaking right now, I know Devontae Adams from the Raiders. You know, real big receiver. He wants asking for a trade. I know Dallas was kind of in the mix to get him, so we could definitely add another outside weapon. You know, you never have too many weapons, and you know, don't be against acquiring people. Just, you know, make sure it fits right for both teams. You know, because you got to ride with them for the rest of the season, especially after after weeks 8 or 9 when they stop doing trades. You know, you can sign free agents all day, but you can't trade no more after a certain date.
Right. Yeah. So. If the Dallas Cowboys don't make it to the Super Bowl, when do you guys predict that they can make it? Because you say they have young talent. Mm-hmm. That young talent can last a few years, you know? Yeah. So if they get better, you know, they get smarter, stronger. Right. You know, whatever it takes to get to the Super Bowl. When do you think you can predict?
Well, me being a fan, of course, I'm gonna say every year. Right. I'm gonna say every year, but if I'm being I'm taking a step back and being objective here. I can see them doing something within the next 3 to 5 years.
Right, because injuries may become a factor too. Right. So bearing all that, you know, you guys feel, because a lot of times, you know, 5-6 years ago, you know, I was a big Texas Rangers fan. All that we're going to the playoffs, but inside it's like, man, we ain't got nobody.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Right.
So, you know, in here you like, yeah, we got what it takes.
Yes, sir.
Well, me, I'll watch every game, you know, and every year I tell the guys at work, we're going to the Super Bowl, you know, and every year they tell me, so what are you going to say now? We'll see you in the Super Bowl next year, you know. But that's what
that's a fan.
That's what makes a fan, you know. Right. And I saw, if I can say this, and I saw what you put on Facebook where you're looking for somebody else, and the first thing I told my wife is like, you know, I hope you don't get somebody is not a Cowboy fan. You know, because that's the last thing.
I actually don't mind it. I think it's fun banter. You know, I like it.
You can probably get back and forth with people. I'm not. You know, I'm a Cowboy fan, and I'm not going to speak ill of anybody else's team. Yeah. And I don't like to speak ill about my team.
I'm an NFL. I'm a football fan. I watch college and NFL. I'm up at 11 a.m., 10 a.m. pregame, watching all the games until I go.
How much, as a Dallas Cowboy fan, how much trash talk do you guys get all the time?
Oh, I actually get it from my girlfriend every day.
Yeah, she's a Texans fan.
She's a Houston Texans fan, and she don't want to hear this. And I love you, baby, but it's definitely tough.
Is it the same thing with her that her whole family is a Texans fan?
Actually, no. Her family is Cowboys fans. Okay. And it's just her. I think one other cousin, are Texans fans, and her brother's a Vikings fan.
How's that team doing? I don't keep up with
the Texans. They actually they're 3-1.
3-1.
Yeah, they're off to a hot start.
Yeah. So they're also going to be competitive.
Oh yeah, they'll be really good. They were really good last year. They actually made it to the divisional round. They lost to the Ravens.
We'll see November 18th.
Well, we actually played on November 18th.
You guys got a camera. What do you want to tell Texans fans right now?
Well, November 18th.
Get your popcorn ready.
November 18th.
Get your popcorn ready.
We'll see who's the best team in Texas.
Yeah, so you guys kind of keep it fun with other fans, and
for sure.
There's some that are kind of get wild, and you try to stay away from those guys.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's a fan. You know, if you're a fan, I'm with it. You know, sometimes people get a little bit, I think, a little bit too passionate. You know, I don't think it's really like a life or death situation. So I mean, you know, and that's what's so fun about the sport. You know, that's why, you know, it's drama. It's a live drama every week. You know, you just never know what's going to happen.
It's just like at work. I win, it's crickets. Cowboys lose, everybody's talking.
Everybody's talking.
You know,
right.
You know, we have a fantasy football league. You know, and we got together at Carney's Pub to do our draft.
Right.
And it was just my second year being in it. So I'm really, if it wasn't for my two boys, kind of tell me the ins and outs of fantasy football. The first thing
it's
the
fun.
guys told me is that, Phillip, you can't pick you can't pick all the Dallas Cowboy ones. you
Yeah,
know?
when he asked me, I'm like, Dad,
Like,
the rule number one: do
'cause
not
what's gonna
pick
happen during the
all
bye?
Cowboys.
So, but I didn't listen. You know, I got Prescott, I got Ferguson, I got Aubrey the kicker. You know, I got the defense. You know, but when they go on by, then on my bench, then I can elevate. Or if we got the free agency, then I
Have you heard of fantasy football, by the way?
Yeah. Well, I used to play fantasy baseball.
Okay.
So, fantasy football is kind of,
Right.
and I think a long time ago, a friend of mine got me into that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know.
It's confusing. It was simpler, and everybody started doing different rules and stuff like that. It just made it confusing.
What do you think about the kicker? What's his name? Aubrey.
Yeah.
Automatic Aubrey.
I mean, isn't he amazing? It was 60 yards, and it was what was his longest? 64 or 65?
66
yards is long.
And that's a tie.
Right.
Yeah.
But in the preseason he kicked that 67. Well, no, it was regular season. He kicked that 67, but they brought it back.
I think it's a false start.
No,
So it was a false start. So,
but he could do it.
Yeah. So he didn't go for 71, and he ran out there.
He ran out. and they on his interview, they asked him, "Did you really think you're gonna make it?" He says, "I think I'll make all of them. In my mind, I can make all. I don't." He said he doesn't hit the ball harder because it's further. He just wants to make sure that
It gets
it
the right
lines up.
elevation, right?
Yeah. So he was gonna go out there. He was gonna kick it.
Where did he come from?
Actually, he was a soccer player growing up. I
Mm.
forgot what college he went to, and matter of fact, I think he was just on the couch. And matter of fact, I think his
wife
told him, he's like, hey, babe, you can do that. And he was like, well, I guess I'll go try. So he went and tried out. He played in USFL with Stallions.
Yeah.
Birmingham Stallions. The champs. Yeah, and he was doing the same thing over there, and then the Cowboys needed a kicker, picked him up.
How did they pick him up? Where did they see him?
Well, the
scouts,
the special teams coach, Bones Bossel went over there to do one of his games, and they told him, "Hey, you come try out for the Cowboys."
That's a huge weapon when you're a close game.
Oh yeah,
they said all Cowboys had, if they make the 50.
That changes the game.
And they talked to Dak. He said, "Yeah, it keeps a lot of weight. It takes a lot of weight off of me, knowing that
you got a weapon like that
further." But of course, they want touchdowns, right? So they're going, of course, go further. But he said, "But yeah, Dak nicknamed him Butter, because he smooth as butter." When he kicks.
Yeah, and he's always composed, and it looks like nothing bothers him, or they call him to go kick and just go kicks the ball. And it goes in.
You gotta have a mental will to do that. Strong will to do that.
Right.
That's cool.
Automatic Aubrey.
Yeah. Automatic Aubrey.
So let's change up the subject right quick, and we'll get back into it, because I want to talk about all the gear that you got, all those collectibles and all that.
Yes, sir.
College football. You got a Longhorn and you got an Aggie. How does that work? And how did one become a fan and not the other?
Right. So not that I don't like the Aggies. I was my dad's a fan.
Just to be clear, you're the Longhorn.
I'm the Longhorn fan. I'm the Longhorn fan. Yeah. So I grew up watching the Aggies. I liked the Aggies. Pretty cool. Watching them all the time. And then my older cousins, Bubba and Eric, they're Longhorn fans. And they're like, I stay at night with them all the time. They're the ones that watch me. I played Nintendo and back in the day, and it was just something. They're like, "You like football, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." The Cowboys. They're like, "Well, you didn't watch the Longhorns." I'm like, "Longhorns? I don't know, man. I want to watch the Aggies." They're like, "That's why you need to watch the Longhorns. All you watch is the Aggies. You need to see something else." I'm like, "Oh, you're right." So I remember. Remember a game. Matter of fact, the game that really got me sold was when Chris Sims was playing. Legendary coach, quarterback Phil Sims' son, went to UT. He was playing. And they were playing Oregon in the Holiday Bowl, right?
Okay.
And Oregon was really good at the time. And Texas was really good too. But Oregon jumped all over them like early. Oh man, it was like everybody was like, "Oh, this game is over." Everybody was like, forget this team or this and that, whatever. And they battled back. You know, and they almost came back and won. And it was just that grit, that fight, that you know, that just knowing that team just has you know, no matter what they did, seem that then they just fought all the way, you know, and then they came back in the end. They still lost, but it was just. I was just like that pride they had. You know, they could have easily just laid it down. No, the bowl game didn't mean nothing to them really. You know, it's not like a championship like the Super Bowl or anything. It's just something for the kids. You know, but they took it seriously, they took it personally, and they fought. And I was like, man, that's that Texas pride right there. You know, I love my state. You know, and that Z University of Texas. Just to make that right.
Yeah, because right now they're number 1. Right?
We actually dropped to number 2 because that big game against Alabama and Georgia.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. But we have a bye week. And then after that, it's Red River, and our starting quarterback should be back. You know, which is a good thing. You know, Arch Manning's doing great. You know, phenom.
Yes.
All the accolades. You know, Peyton, Eli's nephew, Manning quarterback camp, all that stuff.
What's the prediction on the Aggie Longhorn game this year?
Aggie's gonna win.
75-3.
No. I'll probably say 32-37 Aggies.
Aggies, right?
Yeah.
What do you got, Anthony?
I'm thinking 42-35. I think it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a real close game. A&M always battles Texas hard no matter what. And then it's gonna be here.
It's gonna be here.
The Bryan College
This
Station.
is the first time. Just how many years?
11 years.
11
years.
wow.
Yeah.
You know.
Which Texas won on the last second field goal. So no, A&M wants to get that taste out of their mouth.
Do you remember when they used to give free tickets out at Dairy Queen to go watch the Aggies?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
I don't remember. It may have been just in the end zone, right?
Yeah, it wasn't
okay.
that little horseshoe thing.
Yeah,
okay.
Yes, sir.
You would see all West Side because the Dairy Queen was right here on Texas and Williams
Texas there downtown.
Nice.
and they had a little basket with tickets.
Yeah.
And you just go and grab some.
Really?
Yeah.
Can't do that now.
No, you can't do that now.
No.
Oh, man.
Can't do that now.
The parking space, the parking lot.
I'm worried about people taking the tickets and scalping them.
Like I said, my mom worked for the university. She worked in the cafeteria. You know, she was either Dunkin' Dining Hall or Sabisa Hall.
Mm-hmm.
But she would actually feed the athletes, the football players, you know. So, you know, some of them would call them mama. So she made sure she watched them on TV all the time. You know, those are my boys, those are my Aggies. And then, of course, the Cowboys, they're the same thing. You know, those are my boys, you know, because she would see some of them actually playing for the Dallas Cowboys, like Dak Wynn, you know. You know, and then Mom said, I used to feed him. But, I mean, like I said, my mom would be the one sit down watching football. My dad really wasn't interested in one. He'll probably fall asleep on the couch, but don't let them lose, because then my mom.
What about those Manziel years?
Johnny Manziel
years. Those were
Money Manziel.
Those were awesome, dude.
Those were wild, weren't they?
Yeah.
The documentary was wild.
Has the Longhorns had anybody like that? That's not just popular in the game, but just outside
The
the
whole
game?
college,
Because he was like national. No?
Right.
He was
Vince Young was like that when they won the
Vince Young,
championship in
right.
2005.
I remember. I watched that game.
Well, of course, for me being older, Earl Campbell, you know, he was always in the limelight. Nobody could stop that dude from running the ball. You know.
Yeah,
Earl. Of course, he went to play for the Houston Oilers.
Yeah, you also had Ricky Williams. He was pretty.
Ricky Williams, yeah.
Johnny Manziel was a whole different level of popularity, right?
Right.
And it just blew up like a pop star.
Right, exactly. Especially all the social media stuff now. It just caught fire, you know.
I actually bought a helmet. My granddaughter, which is his daughter, is in the dance team in Navasota, and she was having a dance
competition.
And there was a guy there selling paraphernalia.
Memorabilia.
Well, and paraphernalia. Right?
I hope not.
Memorabilia. The first thing I saw is an autographed helmet, just like that, but it's the Aggies with all maroon, you know, the matted color. And so I asked him, I said, so how does it work? He said, well, you know, you start off at this price, and then you put down what you want? And then the next guy comes in and puts down what he
Like
wants.
a little auction.
Silent
Yeah.
auction.
So I said, well, what if I just give you that now and nobody else? He goes, okay. So
You got it.
I got it at home. Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about all the memorabilia that you guys have acquired over the years. How many jerseys do you have of the Dallas Cowboys?
I got like maybe 4.
Right.
This guy here has my dad.
Well, you see my wall, right?
Right.
So that's 8 of them there. And then I have a Sean Lee one that I haven't put up yet.
Right.
Do you have any autographed jerseys?
I have Des Bryant autographed, that win autograph. Roger Staubach autograph one was given to me by my cousin before he passed away. He says, "Hey, cuz, I got to give you something. I don't, I seen your man cave, so let me come out." And I was trying to give him some money for it. He said, no, I know you're going to take care of it. So I'm like, okay. So, yeah, those, my wife says we don't got no more room.
What other autograph or memorabilia do you have? Which one's your favorite? Because I see these right here.
Yeah.
We'll talk about these in a minute.
Actually, his mother last year gave me an autographed ball by Ed Too Tall Jones, and talking about a dominant edge rusher.
Right.
And she works at HEB in San Antonio, so he was there signing autographs. She took pictures with him, and she bought me a ball signed by Ed Too Tall Jones to Phillip.
Wow.
So that, and then a jersey Dak Wynn. I think when Shoe Corner first opened up, he was out there set up on table signing.
Wow.
So I took the boys, and then I took my mom. He gave her a picture of him. But yeah, there's one item that I take personally, and it's this small, and it's a cigarette lighter.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like chrome, but it on either side, on both sides, it's got it painted Dallas Cowboys blue and the star in it. And when I bought it at a flea market, the guy was just selling all kinds of watches and lighters. And then I saw that, and I'm like, "What are you asking for that?" And he's like, $7. I'm like, okay, let me go find my bank account, because she's sitting here.
She's
somewhere.
walking around.
Yeah, the dude, he don't know what he had. After I researched it,
Was it
pretty
valuable?
Penny. Yeah, it's pretty penny now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's about that small. It flipped, it opens. I guess if you put lighter fluid in, I guess it'll work.
Wow.
But that's
Is
one.
that your favorite item? What
Yeah.
about you, Anthony?
I went and got it. I went and found it.
Right.
And yeah.
Like a treasure hunt.
Yeah. Hey, Avon. No, Avon used to sell the cologne.
Right.
Or I found one with the trophy of their first Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it screws off, and it's got the emblem, a metal emblem on it.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's cool.
What about you, Anthony? What's your favorite item that you have? Collectible.
Favorite one was my Cowboys Dat Win jersey that we actually met him and he signed.
Okay.
That was the only one I actually got. I actually got to meet in person, and so that was really cool. And I did have my Longhorn gear on. He kind of gave me a funny look. He was like, you're a Cowboys fan, so he signed up for it.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty cool.
Actually, the best the best memory, I met Roger Staubach.
Oh, wow.
At Kyle Field.
Mm-hmm.
I used to work for Coca-Cola and Brian Coca-Cola, and we used to furnish the ice in both of the locker rooms, and then of course we would sell the soda waters. Of course, the schools, the elementary schools, the high schools would come and they would sell them, but we would, when they used to sell them by the cup.
Right.
Okay, well, we were going across the field to the visitor side, and he was throwing the ball with his son. We're on a cart. I jumped off the cart, man. I just jumped off. It was still going. I jumped off.
Shook his hand and everything.
Shook his hand. I fumbled my words. I didn't know whether to call him Roger or Mr. Staubach. But
Captain comeback.
The dude is big. And actually on that one, one of the commentators was also Lynn Swan from Pittsburgh Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing the commentating, but I was so excited. My brother says, "Did you get him to autograph something?"
You just forgot.
Forgot. I was just so excited to see him and to meet him. Yeah.
So who's on these helmets right here? These are nice helmets.
All right. What? 84 Jay Novacek. Jay Novacek also signed that one. We went a couple of years ago. We went to Pasadena, and then they had a big signing show. Like I said, Jay signed that. My boys met Mike Tyson there. Of course, Ed Tutaw Jones is right there too, so I got that ball. And Chuck Howdy, he's Super Bowl MVP, running back. And then you got Craig Morton. Of course, Staubach replaced Craig Morton. The Master, Randy White, the linebacker. So, Hall of Famer.
So is this the one you take everywhere? Like if you know you're gonna get a signature, you take this one, and you're gonna keep adding to this one.
I try, but it's just it's hard for me to get to them.
Right.
I have a nephew though. He would say, "Uncle Phillip, I'm going to see so and so. I can take something."
Mm-hmm.
And then I had a classmate of mine. Is still here. He goes to the shows, and he's like a vendor, but he's also a buyer and a seller. He will call me up. He said, "Hey, we're going so and so. How these Cowboy stars? You want me to pick you up something? So he would pick me up a couple of jerseys signed.
Right. And then you got this. You said this one's missing one, right?
It's missing one.
There's 5 rings in there.
It's missing that 6th one right there.
And we're missing that 6th. When do you think you're gonna get that ring?
This year.
This year, huh?
This year, yeah.
What item do you wish you can get?
Like any item?
Who would you like to meet the most and like get an autograph and pretty much say, hey man, thanks for all the memories.
Michael Irvin, no doubt.
Michael Irvin.
Yeah, that was my favorite player growing up. He's the whole reason why I wanted to be a wide receiver, because of him, for sure.
And mine would be Roger Staubach because I missed it. I met him, but I didn't get his autograph. But my earliest memories is him always being a quarterback.
Right. So you guys never been to these autograph shows or anything like that, and because a lot of times they're there in like in Houston, especially in Houston,
yeah,
with all these collectibles.
Right.
So that's how I got Pudge Rodriguez's autograph.
Yeah,
nice.
You go to these shows and all of a sudden, and sometimes you don't even know they're there. They'll just make an announcement. Pudge Rodriguez is here.
Right.
You just go buy a ball and go get it signed. So
I think I only been to 2 of them, and this where one of them was.
This is where you got.
Yeah, I bought the helmet there, and then there was a line for Jay Novacek. So I was in that line. They were in the line to meet Mike Tyson, but yeah, I mean, there's.
Yeah.
My wife said don't spend too much money.
Well, I wanna thank y'all for being on the podcast and stepping up as Dallas Cowboy fans.
Thank you for having us.
Because when I first posted this up, it was like everybody wanted. I'm the biggest Cowboy fan. It's like, well, where y'all at?
Right.
Yeah.
We right here.
Yeah, you know what I
right
mean. So thanks for coming to the podcast and
thank
let
you.
us
Thanks
know
for having
about
us.
your story and your memories and what. And everything about the Dallas Cowboys, right?
Yes, sir.
And before we go, you guys want to send some shout outs to the fans out there and your family or anybody?
Well, Cowboys Nation out there, just stay patient. I think we're gonna get past this 2-2, and when all the players come back, I think we're gonna make a good run.
And don't jump off.
No, please don't. Especially don't jump off to across I-45 over there. But yeah,
right on.
But thank you, and a shout out to Hugo, Eagle Leon for.
He makes great tacos.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know. Legs. Yeah, we've had his food before.
And about those turkey legs.
Puts it on the grill. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Saludo, Hugo. What about you, Anthony? Any shout outs you want to send out to?
Oh, yes. I give a shout out to my kids, my crew over there at Syntex Rotomolding. I already told them about this. They're excited to watch it. They're ready to clown me when I get to work. But thank you for having us, man. It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure my way too. And hope the Cowboys win this year and keep winning and give us a good time.
Yes, sir.
And good luck. And I want to thank everybody who subscribes to our channel. Please keep subscribing to the channel. You know, all the Cowboy fans, subscribe to the channel.
Like and subscribe to my boy.
Like and subscribe because, you know, Cowboy fans. Man.
That's right. Let's go. Cowboy Nation.
Life. Yeah.
Cowboy Nation, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, you know, subscribe to it. And thank y'all for watching. And we see y'all next time. Thank you guys for being here.
Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.